What are you doing this summer? Because I would love for you to grab your sketchbooks and some supplies and join me for the summer sketchbook Unslump. The Unslump is a 5-week email series where we'll use the power of prompts to get inspired and create in the pages of our sketchbooks. I wanted to tell you a little bit of the background of how I came up with this because I think it's something that we all go through and might resonate with you. It was about 2 summers ago where I felt like I was stuck in a creative rut. So I really wanted to be creating, but I wasn't making time for it and I wasn't doing anything. So I just felt really stagnant. And then I realized that I still had time to do things like binge watch Netflix. So I just felt like I really needed to kind of change up my priorities and maybe, decide what's important and what I wanted to spend time on. So once that happened, I decided that I wanted to get a sketchbook, and that was where I would try to start creating again. So even though I've done a lot of creative things in the past, for some reason I never gravitated towards keeping a sketchbook. I had a bunch of notebooks where I would jot down notes, or I kept journals and things like that, but never one for visual arts. So that's where I thought I would begin. I picked out a sketchbook, and my idea was that it's a place where I can go to create, and it's nice and neat where I can put everything all in one place. And I feel like it's always fun to get a new journal or new book because there's all these blank pages and there's so many possibilities. So that got me kind of excited to start creating. So once I got it, I started filling in the pages. And at first, I took inspiration from some of my past work and kind of reinvented it to the materials and supplies I was using now. But then what happened was I did a page where I just used crayons and I just scribbled. I actually did this with my eyes closed, and I really like doing that because I feel like it just sets you free and you're not thinking about anything and you're actually just doing something, and just the act of doing really gets that momentum started. And so after I did that, I thought about how much I loved art as a kid, and that's where everything started. I've been drawing on walls and painting and doing all kinds of stuff ever since I was little. So after this first crayon page, I sort of decided to have a theme for a week, and so I committed to creating in my sketchbook for 7 days, and the theme would be things from my childhood. And so there were a lot of the things that made me fall in love with art and fell in love with creating with my hands and exploring different materials and things like that. So once I did that and had a theme or a prompt to go off of, I felt like the ideas came really easily, and I got a lot of ideas, and it wasn't so intimidating to decide what to fill in a sketchbook page with. So I just wanted to go through those 7 pages real quickly. So we started with these scribbles, and then I decided to do a collage because I had this felt toy where it had different shapes and you would just stick it on to make different pictures and things like that, different scenes, and it was really fun. And then I was inspired by the rainbow and all the different bright colors that, I gravitated towards. And I don't know if you can tell, but I use sort of different mediums on here. So there's crayon, marker, thread, and it just kind of represents my love for using different materials. And next, this is gold embroidery. And so this was actually inspired by my love for making clothes for my Barbie dolls. And there is a book that my mom got, and it has this white dress with gold detailing on it, and that was my favorite Barbie doll dress, and it was one shoulder and asymmetrical, and so I really liked that. So this was inspired by that. And next, of course, I had to be inspired by the classic of finger painting. So I used primary colors, and again, just got my fingers dirty and messy and had fun with it. And so part of this, it's not about, for me, creating perfect pieces, but it's just taking action and seeing where that takes you. And then the next page, it was inspired by this book that I still have, where you can read it all the way through, and then you turn the book upside down and read it backwards. And all the pictures, it's all in black and white. All the pictures become different scenes, and it's super cool. So here I did kind of a bunch of leaves falling, and then if you turn it around, it is a dress. So that was the inspiration for this page. And then lastly, I actually have this self-portrait that I made. I think this was when I was in preschool or kindergarten. So I have this in a frame, and it's usually somewhere around, and I like it as a reminder of, when I first started drawing and when I fell in love with it. So I realized that I hadn't done a self-portrait basically probably ever since I made that. So I decided to do a current one as my last page. So I just did a pencil sketch, and I just did half my face because I was a little intimidated of doing a whole thing, so I thought this was a good place to start. And then I did kind of acrylic abstract markings because that's what I was really into at the time and kind of what started me into painting again. After the 7 days of using my childhood as a prompt, I kept on filling pages in my sketchbook. Those 7 days really helped to motivate me and kind of kickstart me, getting that momentum going so that I could create again. And that's really how I got out of my creative rut and how I found my way back to creating again. Then the next summer started rolling around and I realized I've been creating in my sketchbook for almost a year, and it's the most consistent that I've created for a while. And so I remember I was walking Valentine, my dog, and I just realized that I wanted to share the idea of using prompts and using a sketchbook to create with other people. I know I'm not the only one that gets the summer slumps, that gets stuck in a rut, or gets intimidated by not really knowing what to do or what to put on a blank piece of paper. So last year was the first year that I hosted the Summer Sketchbook Unslump, and it was so much fun. I am so obsessed with the idea of how, one prompt, one word, one theme can look like so many different things to all of us. We have different life experiences, we come from different backgrounds, and all of that reflects into the art and the things that we make. It reflects onto our pages. It was really cool to see that and to see what directions people, took these prompts in. And I remember some of the unslumpers shared with me that, they finally got to try a technique that they've been wanting to try for a long time. Or they always thought painting was really hard, but then they painted and they were super proud of what they made. That made me so happy to hear, and it just feels really meaningful to me. And it's such a privilege to be able to do this and to come together with, different creatives of different skill levels, different backgrounds, different ages, and to see what we can all make together. And that brings us to this summer. I'm very excited to be hosting the Summer Sketchbook Unslump again this year, and I would love for you to join me. It's a free 5-week email series, and you can sign up at the link below. After you sign up, you'll get a week 0 email that will have information to help you prep and get ready and to know what to expect. Then week 1, where I send out the first prompt, will begin July 14th. You'll get 5 prompt emails total, and that will include ideas and inspiration to help you get started and help you figure out how to interpret each prompt. And then there will also be a check-in email that follows after every prompt. And in the check-in emails, I like to share what we're all doing, so you can submit your pictures and I'll include them, and we can get inspired by the people that we're doing this unslump with. You can do this live with me as I send out the emails, or if you're going to go on vacation, if you're seeing this much later after July, you can still sign up, get the emails, and work on the prompts on your own time. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I really hope you'll sign up and that I'll see you in your inboxes. Let's unslump, get inspired, and create this summer. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.